Yeah, it's no longer sufficient enough. And by the way, with as a creator, you don't want to just be sufficient enough, but it's no longer good enough to just slap your camera on there and play some games with you on camera. That's like what was working in like 2010, or even maybe earlier. That's not what works anymore. That's the bare minimum. If you're not bringing anything else to the table, you're not going to grow and you're not going to be successful at this thing. If you're just playing video games anyway, and you think, oh, maybe I should just do it live, I'm not going to expect anything different, and you expect to never be successful, then okay, maybe. But if you actually want to take this somewhere, you have to add some sort of other element to it. The name of the game really is combining your talents and showing your talents on screen. What are you good at? What can you show people what you're good at? You know, what CodeMiko does, she can program Unreal Engine. She learned it in under 2 years. And she's a good programmer.
It's just funny to watch, man. Look at her drinking the champagne right here and shooting it at the screen. Like, I'm sorry, like without the audio on, this is just hilarious just to watch. Yeah. Like, this is wildly really entertaining.
Yeah, so she combines her sense of humor plus her coding ability and her ability to interview. And she has a really, really good understanding of Twitch chat's kind of mentality. So she was obviously a Twitch chatter for a while and understands the dynamic and the culture there. And she just combines all that and plays to her strengths. So her strengths are her sense of humor, her ability to interview, and her ability to code. And she puts all those together and to something that works as a piece of content, but she puts it together intelligently, puts it together in a way, well, I can interview other creators. This will allow me to network and grow faster because I'm bringing other creators in. Their audience will want to watch the show too. That's brilliant. You guys gotta be thinking this way. How can you design your content? How can you design your live stream that by its nature, by how you're producing the content, it automatically gives you more opportunities to get bigger audiences because you're doing something with other creators. Right now, the popular thing to do that works, that most big streamers do, is they react to what other big streamers are saying. It's very simple to do. All you have to do is bring them up on screen and have a take on what some other big streamer said. And then all of your audience says, oh, so-and-so said this about so-and-so. And it just bleeds to the internet. And now you're relevant and now you're trending. And it's the easiest thing to do in the book. But it gives you an example of, in your content, something that you do regularly that gets your name out there, that puts you in a position to trend, and it gets you networking with other creators. If you're not doing any of those three things with your content, you're not going to expand your reach. You're not going to get a wider audience, and you're going to grind in an environment that is just getting more and more competitive. And as we were predicting in our 2021 predictions episode, it's going to be even more competitive in 2021. So if what you're doing now isn't working, it's even more not going to work next year. So think about what your strengths are. Think about the parts of your personality that work well, that are your strong suits, and maybe look at your weaknesses too. Some streamers can take their weaknesses and turn it into a strength by saying maybe they have really, really terrible dad humor or something like that. Maybe that could work if you apply it correctly in a stream. There are lots of examples where failures and kind of your weaknesses can also be exploited for entertainment. That's also a skill that is required as well. So you have to be able to look at yourself and assess yourself and say, what am I good at? What am I not good at? What strengths can I play to? What weaknesses can I play to or should I avoid? And how can I wrap that in an innovative way into content that maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be no one's ever done it before. You know, in past episodes, we talked about replicating successes of other creators, and that's an okay thing to do and make it your own. That is a pathway to success in and of its own. I'm sure there will be derivatives of CodeMiko and copycats of CodeMiko doing it their own way that will also be successful. Will they be as successful as CodeMiko? I don't know. We'll see. But they will definitely get an expanded reach and an expanded audience by doing something similar. And that's a lesson that you can all learn, I think, from this is figure out, be self-critical, be self-evaluating, and also take a note out of what people are doing that's successful, because this example of innovation, and I do consider this an innovation in the space.
Absolutely, it's innovation.
Yeah. Really nice to see that the space evolve into something even new and interesting. You want to be part of the space pushing that innovation forward, because if you are, that means you're trending, and that is where the major explosive growth occurs.